Hey, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Manu and I'm a longevity coach, and I'm so thrilled that you're joining me on this journey towards a longer and much healthier and vibrant life. And today is about something that most of us do not really like because it doesn't feel good. It's about getting a cold, or actually how you can prevent yourself from getting a cold. And if you got something, what you can actually do to enhance your recovery. And this is the topic for today's video. And I don't claim to have all the answers. So if you just get a nugget of wisdom, if you have a tip or something that works wonders for you, so don't be shy, just drop it in the comments such that we all can benefit from what we learn, such that we can all gather our knowledge together, and I would be so happy to learn even more. And this channel is all about tips around health, about longevity, about the latest research, or just how to expand your mindset to a much healthier one. So be sure to subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell such that you never ever miss an update. So now let's dive into the topic how to not catch a cold. Right now, the days are getting shorter and shorter, and maybe you've noticed it's getting colder outside. So many people now tend to believe that because it's getting colder, they're much more likely to catch a cold. Or I also I also noticed that many people have this belief when they're going outside now and it's cool outside and they're freezing and they're getting cold, they're saying, oh wow, now I have to catch a cold because I got cold. Or it was a rainy day and your clothes were wet and your hair was wet, and then you were saying, oh no, I'm wet, I'm freezing, so now I have to catch a cold. And you know what? Suddenly this happens. And what I want to encourage you to do, or what I would love to tell you, most of those stories, they're just in our head. And something that we've learned, for example, from our parents, that they were saying, oh no, don't go out with wet hairs because then you will catch a cold, for example. But that's just a story that you were told, because in summer, when you have wet hairs, you go outside, nothing's happening, right? And so the same is true in winter, because what is happening if we actually catch a cold? It's not because your hair were wet or you were freezing. Getting a cold is something that you get from a virus, and for a virus you have to have contact with people all around your place, or you have to be at places where some people were before, such that you can basically grab that virus. But before I want to go into the details of how you can actually prevent from catching a cold, I would love to share with you how you actually get that cold in order to understand how you can prevent it. Catching cold basically means that you get a virus. So at some point you have to be around other people or at places where other people have been before in order to get that virus into your system. And with into your system, I mean basically either your nose or your throat, because there the virus can enter your body. And once that virus is into your body, it can enter your cells, and what happens then is that the virus can replicate itself. So it produces more and more of these viruses inside your body. And then it's inside of you. And suddenly your immune system recognizes, oh, there's something going on in my body. Oh, wow, I have to do something about it. And then your immune system responds. And this response could be, for example, that you have a sniff, or that you're coughing, or that your throat hurts, for example. This could be all symptoms, or getting a headache, or that you feel really, really tired. This could be all the symptoms that are caused by this virus that was entering your body. And suddenly, your body is fighting against that virus. And maybe you have noticed when you have this virus, usually your body tries to get it out of your system, and this is when you're sneezing, for example, then your body tries to get that virus out of your body, but then it's of course much more likely that you can spread that virus to other people. But because your immune system recognized, oh, there's something going on, it also responds not only with trying to getting the virus out of it, but trying actually to kill all these virus cells in order for you to heal. So basically the process is pretty simple. Once you get that virus into your nose or into your throat, and the virus replicates, your immune system responds with getting symptoms and trying to kill that virus in order to heal. And now here's where we can actually prevent from getting that virus when we understand that mechanism behind that. Because prevention for me means two different things. And the first thing is try to avoid getting that virus is the first thing. And we all learned during the COVID-19 pandemic that we have to have distance with other people, for example. But I get it, I'm a mom of two and I don't want to have a distance between me and my children or my spouse. I want to have them really close to me, and I get it. So the second thing is to boost your immune system such that you're strong enough to handle that. But let's just start with the first one. The first one was that you don't get that virus into your body. And one thing you can do when you're going outside, for example, is of course having distance to people that are infected, where you see that they're sneezing, they're coughing, something like that. That is pretty obvious. Another obvious one, for me at least, is that whenever I come home from, for example, grocery shopping or whatever, when I went to the city, that I'm washing my hands with some soap, that I really take time to get my hands washed, to wash off everything that I had in my hands. And this shrinkens the possibility of getting that virus. And of course, if you notice that something is in your system, in order to prevent the people to get that virus as well, is, for example, stay away from them, or even something as simple as sneezing into your elbow. I mean, we all noticed that during the COVID-19 pandemic, we all got that rules that we were able, that we should follow in order to stay healthy. And this is true for basically all viruses, right? And this is just the first thing. But if you have a family or people that you want to be close with, or for example, your toddler that you want to cuddle with, it's not possible to have a distance. And also what I noticed, it's really, really important for our children that we are pretty close together, because otherwise we feel isolated. We feel that the other person maybe does not like us, and for our little ones it's so important to feel that warmth and that closeness to each other. So then we come to the second thing, and this is our immune system. And this of course plays a crucial role when it comes to fighting viruses. And what we can do to boost our immune system are many, many, many different things. But let me describe it as this: living a healthy lifestyle is crucial when it comes to your immune system. And there are several things I want to go a bit deeper into detail, let's say. One thing that might surprise you a bit is getting enough sleep. Getting enough sleep is so crucial, because when we get enough sleep, our body is able to recover even better from everything, all the stress you put into the body. And this stress could also mean that you have a virus your body is fighting against. And studies have shown that people that sleep enough are actually 3 to 5 times more likely to beat that virus, to fight against that virus, such that they're not getting a cold. And as I told you, stress is one big factor when it comes to fighting that virus. So one thing that is also really crucial is getting enough rest for yourself. So it's really crucial in those months where it's getting colder and colder to also focus more on yourself, to get enough rest, to get relaxation, and not to push yourself through the day really hard, doing lots of things all the same time, and even have this mental load, your workload and stuff like that. Just taking the time once a day, even for a few minutes, to get that rest, to get your inner calm back. And this is important when it comes to fighting a virus as well. In contrast to that, like getting enough rest, it's also important that your body is able to adapt really quickly to new situations. Because once that virus enters your body has to adapt at some point and focuses all its energy towards fighting that virus. And one thing where you can actually work on is sports. Because with sports, for example, you can change your heart rate variability. And when you're changing your heart rate variability, what happens to your body is that it can adapt even quicker and much easier than when you didn't make any sports. And this is maybe also the reason why people who tend to be sportive, that they are not likely to get a virus, because their body can adapt much more quicker than the body from those people that are like couch potatoes, for example. And even though getting enough sleep, getting enough rest, and doing sports to getting your body adapted to all the situations is really important, one thing, at least for me, is even more important, and this is our nutrition. Because you know that our immune system is mainly located in our gut. I think it's 80% of our immune system cells are actually located in our gut. And what does this mean? If your gut, for example, is not working properly, then it's really likely that it cannot fight against all those viruses, right? And because our immune system is almost all of it located in our gut, it's so important to be aware that your gut is in a good shape. And here are some symptoms when it comes to your gut health that tell you that something isn't working properly in your gut. For example, the most obvious would be if you have problems with your gut, if you have some allergies, if you feel like you don't have the energy, if you feel tired throughout the day, if you have, for example, muscle pain, if you feel like you cannot recover really well from sports, for example, if you have problems with your skin, if you have acne or some other skin problems, let's say. All of this could show you that something is not working, right in your gut, and so your immune system is also not as strong as it could be. And once you noticed that there's something going on in your gut, it's really easy how you can actually boost your immune system. And if you want to boost your immune system, what comes naturally is that you're also boosting your gut health. And this is the beauty of our whole body, because if you do one part of your body a favor, then you will do a favor also to another part of your body. And I really love that our bodies are designed to keep us healthy. One thing for me when it comes to boosting my immune system is eating many anti-inflammatory products. So what is anti-inflammatory? Anti-inflammatory basically are all the plants that are whole food. And this could be, for example, legumes, it could be fruits, it could be vegetables. But of course, the amount of anti-inflammatories that you put into your body differs from food to food, and there are foods that are higher in those. For example, one of them that I use every single day in all of my dishes is turmeric, and I use it with pepper together. This is high in anti-inflammatories, and I really love it. But when I tell you that it's good to eat more anti-inflammatory foods, then for me a question directly pops up. Am I also eating inflammatory foods? Because if you try to eat more plants, let's say, more things that are anti-inflammatory, but you still put many foods inside your body that are inflammatory, what it then does to your body, of course, you increase that amount of anti-inflammatories, but still you won't get a whole benefit out of it if you still put inflammation into your body. So what's actually causing inflammation in your body? Basically, all the products that are highly processed usually cause inflammation. And so everything that you're buying that has more than 5 ingredients or that is so complex such that you cannot even make it at home, or that has so many chemicals inside, or let's say some preservatives, these are the ones that cause inflammation. But not only those, it's also all the animal products that actually cause inflammation in our body. This could be, for example, chicken. This could be also fish. This could be beef, pork, dairy, cheese, eggs. All of them, when you're putting this into your system, it's causing inflammation. And now, knowing that concept of inflammatory foods and anti-inflammatory foods, you maybe understand why your body, for example, is hurting, why your gut isn't feeling good. Because if the amount of inflammatory foods overweighs the amount of anti-inflammatory foods that you're putting into your system, then of course your body will get inflammation, and usually you won't notice it until you get a disease, something as, for example, arthritis, some pain in your joints, for example, or when you're getting something like asthma. And now if you want that your immune system is working really well, then you know that the amount of anti-inflammatories that you put into your body should be at least the amount of inflammatory stuff in order to have a good immune system. I mean, best case would be that you just put anti-inflammatories into your system, and this would be following a whole food plant-based diet actually. So now you learned that concept that you can actually put something into your body that fights inflammation, and with that boosts the immune system. And another thing that's for me really important when it comes to nutrition are antioxidants. So why is that? As I told you before, a virus, something as getting a cold, puts our body to a stress mode. And what we want to have is that our body can heal very quickly, or even prevent that we are getting that disease. But a virus is not the only thing when it comes to stress in our day-to-day life. Stress could be also the workload that we're having, the boss that is shouting at us that we should do our work, for example. Or this could be the mental load that you're having as a mom or a dad, for example. This could also be the environment that you're living in. Air pollution is one of these stressors that come from the outside. But as I mentioned before, also the food that you put into your body, because if you have inflammation in your body, it puts your body under stress. And in order to fight that stress, it's important to feed your body with lots of antioxidants, because what these antioxidants are doing is that they are fighting the oxidative stress. And what is actually an antioxidant when it comes to nutrition? I really love to mention berries here, because berries are amazing. They're containing lots of antioxidants, just perfect. So every day get at least a portion of berries. And if I know that I have lots of stress, or I am making myself lots of stress, what I'm doing then is I'm using amla powder. Amla powder comes from the Indian gooseberry, and this is one of the foods that is really high in antioxidants. So now, nutrition-wise, we got first putting more anti-inflammatories in your body, and second, getting those antioxidants in your body. And then there's another thing that I would love to mention, because I think it's super important that everybody should actually know that. It's basically a magical cure when it comes to fighting the virus for getting a cold, because I'm telling you the story behind, and then I'll let you know what it is. In a study, it was shown that if you put this into your mouth on a daily basis, then you can get such a virus injected into your nose. So it's directly into your nose, and usually you would catch a cold immediately. But what it did to all the patients that were in those studies, nobody got sick. This was really incredible, that you just have to eat this one thing on a daily basis and then a virus could not enter your body. Isn't that incredible? And you know what it is? It's broccoli sprouts. Just getting a tablespoon of broccoli sprouts every single day prevents you from getting that virus into your body. And I was completely freaked out when I heard about that, and I really would love to share it with you, because it's incredible. Everybody can do it. It is really, really, really cheap to do that. You can just sprout your own broccoli sprouts. It's cheap, it's delicious, and it's simply crazy how easy it is to prevent yourself from getting that. There's one more thing that I wanted to share with you when it comes to prevent from getting a cold. And so far I was talking about things that you can actually do. So you can do sports, you can prioritize your sleep, you can get enough rest, and you can get your nutrition right. These are all the things that you can actually do. You can schedule them in your calendar and you can work for them. But there is also the mental side, where you can actually influence what you are getting and how healthy you are. And in the beginning, I told you something as, oh, I get cold and I will catch a cold. That are, for example, stories that are inside our head, but once we believe them, they become true much more easily. And so I wanted to share also this aspect, that you have so much more power when it comes to your mind. And this is something that it's not something you can easily grasp or you can easily do. But yeah, you have to believe in yourself. For example, people like, for example, Dr. Joe Dispenza, they are teaching people how to use the mind in order to heal from certain diseases, that they are changing the connections in the brain in order to heal much faster. And you know I had a friend that was really, really, really sick, and she was just following those instructions from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I'm not lying about it, within half a day, all of her fever, all of her symptoms were completely gone. And this is the power of our mind. And with that said, I will emphasize one more person here, because I think his work is so incredible, because he's combining the things that you actually can do with the mental part of it. And this person is Wim Hof. And I believe you've heard about him. That's the crazy guy that is going into an ice river, that has the cold showers, that is doing lots of breathing exercises. And there was an experiment with Wim Hof 2011 where he got injected some endotoxins, and usually if you as a person would get those endotoxins into your body would react almost immediately, and you would get something as fever, and you get really heavy symptoms. Like a cold is nothing if you compare it to those symptoms. And Wim Hof got injected as endotoxins, and nothing was happening. And then scientists believed, okay, this is the crazy guy, he jumps into cold water and he's breathing all the time, so he's a little crazy person. And then 2013, they made an experiment where they took 24 participants into the study, and they divided them into groups of 12 participants each. And Wim Hof was training with one of the groups and teaching him the methods about activating your immune system consciously. Like really to say, now immune system, come on, fight that virus. And they were training for only 4 days. It was just 4 days where he was teaching them what they need to learn. And after that, all of the participants get injected with those endotoxins. And the group that was not training with Wim Hof got all the symptoms, and it was really, really bad for them. And the other participants that were actually training with Wim, none of them had symptoms. So you can say, okay, that's the one part where you can actually see maybe they are suppressing kind of, but they were taking blood samples such that you can actually see the impact of what the participants were doing. And what I was describing in the beginning is that once you get that virus into your body, it has to realize that this virus is inside your body, but once it realizes, the body is spread all over your body, and then it reacts towards healing itself, right? And this was also shown in the blood samples of the 12 participants that were not in the Wim Hof group. While for the other 12 participants, it was shown that they could switch this immune system response on right before they got injected with the endotoxins, and so the body was in an alert mode, and the body was actually saying, yes, I'm ready for it, give it to me. And none of them got sick. And I wanted to mention this here as well. This is how powerful our bodies are. Our bodies are machines. They are perfect as they are, and we can do so much more than we ever thought possible, because now it's clear that we can actually activate our immune system consciously. So now you're equipped with lots of tools that you can actually use to prevent from getting a cold. But what if you're sitting there watching this video and you actually have a cold. And for this, it's so good to understand the underlying mechanisms behind that, and that's why I was explaining them in the beginning. So once that virus enters your body, it's spreading and the body wants to get rid of it and wants to heal fast. So all of the tips I was mentioning basically in how to prevent it from getting that cold are also coming into play right now, except that you want to get as much rest as you want during those days, because you don't want to put now stress onto your body, because your body is under stress because of that virus. So the first tip I love to mention is get enough rest and get enough sleep. So be sure to hit your 8 hours of sleep every single day, and if you get a fever, then try to sleep as much as possible. And fever is really good, because then the body wants to get it out of the system and it heals very, very quickly. And when it comes to rest, it's good to put yourself just in a state of, for example, meditation, to relax all of your muscles such that your body can take care of whatever's going inside. You don't have to be tense, because if you're that tense, it's much harder to fight for the body, because then it tries to hold everything back. And the body heals in its best form when you are giving the body rest such that it can fight it. And there are a lot of meditations and affirmations out there that are actually helping you to heal yourself. And I was mentioning, for example, Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's amazing when it comes to healing the body, and he's going much further than just healing you from a cold, but also healing from cancer, for example. So our body is capable of doing those things if we are in the right mental state for it. So to sum this one up, just get enough rest, take it slow, stress level down, and maybe even stay home for 1 or 2 days in order to allow your body to heal itself. And this is one thing that it's actually hard to do if you're somebody who's all of the time wants to work and wants to give more to other people. But if you're not healthy, you're not able to give more to other people, right? So, and if you're getting that rest, it's also important, what I was mentioning before, to put things into your body that are helping them. So one of the things I was mentioning before is to eat more of those foods that are anti-inflammatory. So turmeric together with pepper, for example. All the plants that are outside there are so high in anti-inflammatories, and at the same time decrease or even cut the amount of inflammatories that you're putting into your body. For example, I was a big believer that a bone broth is super cool when it comes to healing myself. But what I found when I was going on a whole food plant-based diet is that my body is healing even faster when I give it a veggie broth, because having a bone broth means for the body you're putting more inflammatories into the body. The body has more stress to fight that inflammation and to fight that virus. So your body has to kind of split that energy. And why should it split that energy when you just put, for example, things inside that are anti-inflammatory and let those things out that cause inflammation? And also eating lots of berries. And for example, if your throat is hurting, then you can make a berry ice cream such that you're just taking frozen berries and put them in the food processor and eat them. So it's really cool, not only for your throat but also for your health. And talking about pain that you're feeling inside your body, something that works wonders for me is if I have a glass of water with 1 or 2 teaspoons of grounded ginger, or if you'd like to eat it, then just eat it. But for me, it's too spicy. I just drink it immediately. It is really spicy, I get it. But ginger itself has the same effect as an ibuprofen, but without any side effects. And this is the beauty about the foods that Mother Nature is giving us, that we do not need to think about whether it's good for us or bad, but it just has all the benefits without the downsides. And I really love to do this. And you know, as I was mentioning before, if you have those throat pain, an ice cream made out of frozen berries, just frozen berries, or if you would like to have something more sweet, then put also some frozen bananas inside, is perfect. Or if you'd like to have a warm cup of tea, a herb tea, for example, is just amazing, because then you're feeding your body with the warmth and food that is actually good for yourself. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and with all the tips that are inside this video, I hope that you will stay healthy during this period now. And if you have another tip that you would love to share with us, then please drop it here in the comments. And it's all about learning from each other in this amazing community, and I'd love to see you really, really soon. And until then, I wish you a healthy time.